Alice got to do something that very few people get to do, ride this horse, Don't Ask Kinmon, in his very last race, and then get to show him in his very first show. So Alice is both a jockey and also involved in the sport horse world. You rode Don't Ask Kinmon for his last 7 races and also won a couple of times on him. What was he like on the track?
So I actually broke him when he was a yearling.
So the history goes back even further.
Goes way back, yeah. And I mean, he was always just a really good boy. I mean, from the first day I met him, he just did everything right. And, you know, he was competitive on the track, but he's always had a good brain, you know, very sensible about everything, didn't get too excited about anything. He was always good in the paddock, good in the track. You know, I'd ride him in the post parade, and the pony people would always comment on what a good pony he'd make because he was just so quiet and such a good boy.
Well, we can see it here, being in his stall. We're doing an interview. He's happily eating. So when the time came after his last race, October of 2021, finishing his racing career, you weren't going to let this horse out of your sights?
No, I actually was worried because we ran him at Mountaineer the last time out, and there were a group of guys that were claiming a bunch of horses and taking them to Puerto Rico to run, and they claimed his full brother just a couple weeks before that, and I was so worried. I said, if you're going to Puerto Rico, I'm getting on the boat and I'm going with you. So I was really worried that he was going to get taken, but you know, that was his last race, and then his connections asked me if I wanted to keep him because they knew that I had a special relationship with him, and here we are.
That's incredible. So you got the horse after his last race, and his transition, you'll be competing in dressage and ranch work.
Yes.
How has that gone to teach him some new skills? Or when he was on the track, were you kind of doing some of the foundational skills to prepare him for this?
Yeah, so when I break babies, I do a lot of trail riding, and you know, I haul them off property to get some different experiences under their belt before they go to the track. So I feel like he, you know, was set up really well to be successful for this kind of thing just from the beginning. But the ranch work, actually, I didn't know anything about ranch work or riding Western, so we've both kind of been learning together, and everybody's been great and helpful and teaching me new things, so that's been really fun. And then I have a background in dressage and eventing, so the dressage kind of came more naturally for me, but I mean, he's just great at everything he does, really.
Your background with thoroughbreds, it's wide-ranging. What is that?
Yes, so I grew up eventing in pony club, things like that, and then always wanted to work on the track, and actually was in an internship program down here in Lexington in the KEME program, Kentucky Equine Management Internship. And so I spent 6 months working on a thoroughbred farm. I was actually at Juddmonte and kind of got my foot in the door in the thoroughbred industry there, and went from there. I always wanted to be on the track, and ultimately the goal was to be a jockey, so it took a few years, but we made that happen.
But your background was actually in the sport horse world before going into racing.
Yes, so that was a little bit of a transition there, but...
Saw that you competed in eventing up to training level.
Yes.
And that was with a thoroughbred too. So what were your impressions of thoroughbreds before you got into racing?
I mean, I always just thought they were a great breed. I had a couple of Arabians when I was growing up, so I like the hotter breeds, you know, and thoroughbreds always just appealed to me because, you know, they're pretty and athletic. And the mare that I competed in high school, we actually got from a rescue that pulled her from a kill pen. And, you know, so she was a great first thoroughbred experience, and they just keep getting better.
Well, we hope it keeps getting better for you, because you could also have the potential to be competing in the Thoroughbred Makeover and riding at Keeneland on the same week.
Yeah.
So the Thoroughbred Makeover, the Breeders' Cup are in Lexington, and Alice Beckman in the Thoroughbred Makeover and riding at Keeneland too. Thank you. Best of luck to you and to Lil K.
Yeah, thank you.
How's he warmed up?
He's warmed up great, and this is the best he's ever worked, and you know, I'm happy with him, and I could go home right now and still be happy, and the rest of this is just icing on the cake. He was perfect.
He looks so good.
That's some of the best work he's done, so I cannot complain.
Good job.